All right, and we are live.
Yeah.
Still got 5 minutes on Oblivion downloading, so we can get bullshit for a few minutes while we are
Nice.
waiting for that. Get the chat to where I can see it.
Try and get my glasses as straight as possible because I know that triggers you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, dude. Dude, if you haven't noticed, like, I have a bit of the same problem. It's just not as bad, and I adjusted my pads to where it doesn't bother me. Like, it doesn't think. Oh, if I like,
Remember, kids, corrective surgery saves money.
Screw that.
Because I got so many issues with these glasses because of my uneven ears.
Well, for me, it's a bit different. I like the reason why most of the time you won't it's 50-50. You'll either see me wearing my glasses or you won't, because
Right.
I can see without my glasses. I can see just fine without my glasses. It's just if I do it for too long, I get headaches because of the fact that it's very slight astigmatism, and it's my right eye that's actually the bad one. My left eye's good.
Ooh, that was dangerously close. I was trying to like grab the it's like whenever you go on Twitter sometimes, instead of like being where it should be, like scrolls you like all the way down. I was like, well, I'm just going to grab the scroll bar and put all the way up so I can tweet out the live stream, and I almost clicked that big red X in the corner there.
Yes, that would have been bad. And well, not if you're someone like me who generally had like 50 million tabs open. I'm getting better. I'm down to 50, and I've been keeping it about 50 compared to my like 150, 200, 300 of needless information. Well, needless to most people, like, that I used to have. It's kind of one of those. That's why I warned people: be careful about the quest for knowledge. You may end up getting.
It is a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Well, it's like, I got thinking about it, and it's like, one of the things, best way I've come to like try to explain quantum physics, for instance, to people who
No.
It has become like, picture a spider web, but instead of it being 2D like you normally see it, very flat and just picture 3D, and instead of having just it going out at certain points, like it's each point has an infinite number of ways it could spider web, and every spider web, infinite point has other points where it's infinite, and it's infinites within infinites within infinites. Every possible thing that can happen has happened and will happen. Like, going back in time doesn't change anything because that possibility has already happened.
Yeah.
There is a timeline out there. When you go back in time, you go to that timeline because that's the reality where that probability happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not losing you, am I?
No. I'm just trying to get everything comfortably situated here.
Oh no, I wasn't saying like that. I was saying like I think that's a good way to try to explain quantum physics to people. Like, that will not be overly complicated.
Speaking of physics, you've noticed the latest shenanigans with the black hole picture?
Oh, well, it's not even her model that was used. La da da da. And Tim Pool pointed out best. She's the only reason why she's getting a lot of the credit. No one would have even known who it was if it wasn't for the picture she tweeted out saying, you know what I mean? Seeing it compile.
I mean, there's. We just have to admit that the black hole doesn't look aesthetically pleasing. And we've also got, internet being internet, black hole being a you-know-what hole. And also all the freaking media and artworks that unintentionally called out what the black hole would look like.
Right.
We have like 2 or 3 animes, Majora's Mask, and Dark Souls 3, like calling out what a black hole looks like.
And not to mention the fact
before we've had the black hole picture.
Oh yeah. And not to mention there's also the fact that from what I was told, mind you, I haven't seen the movie. Apparently Interstellar actually, from what I've heard, got really close to what a black.
But like instead of orange, it was like white or something. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I could be mixing it up with something else.
Yeah, but no. I think that's the right picture. I think because I saw the two compared, and it's like, well, that's cool. But then again, Interstellar, from what I've been, I get to say, privy to on what they did with the movie, they actually were fairly spot on with the way that the physics of like actual time travel and things like that. It's like you can't be mad. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Time travel is I'll be the first to admit time travel is very complex. I would be lying if I said it wasn't. But at the same time, time travel is also one of those things where if you don't already have an interest in time travel, you're not going to be interested in it.
Yeah.
Because of how complex it can get. And that movie deals a lot with, it's one of the theories I heard put out about time travel was the fact that should we be able to move faster than light, we would have to have a form of pseudo time travel in order to do it, because of the fact that once you hit relativistic speeds, time slows down for you, but stays the same for everyone else, or something along that line. So even though it's only been like, let's say, a year or two, for everyone else it's been like 50 years and things like that. And it's like, well, I mean, but at the same time, it's like, well, which is why I stand by what we need is something like warp, because at that point you're not technically moving faster than the speed of light. You are more, I guess you could say, you're not moving fast speed and light. You're moving everything around you and going at like 999, like 0.9999998 if you go by the Galaxy class. The speed of light type deal. Because this dude and I actually been having this conversation on Dissenter on a video that we saw talking about the top 5 most deadly starships on Star Trek. And him and I are like, he was talking about how the dude liked the give me a second. The names, it was a specific class that he likes, and pretty much made the comment. The dude responded with, that class is pretty much all it is a mix of the Intrepid and the it's the Intrepid in another class. And I was like, man, and my response was, and how he said that basically the steam runner was their answer to the Orbit being the Orbit class being one-shotted by Klingons. Like, it's a Klingon bird of prey, but even though the Orbis is technically a science vessel and not designed to be
combat.
Yes. I may be showing my Star Trek card a little too hard here, but like the Steam Runner was, the way it was designed is basically like a flat disc, fixes the deflector dish is built into the hull, like recessed in. It's very difficult to hit. Whereas the Orbis class is basically like a big ball, and then your standard like cylindrical design with the nacelles going off, right? This, it's all more like it's almost like the NX class in Enterprise, but instead of it being with the nacelles up, and it's all like all connected. The nacelles are connected into the saucer section and everything. I think it's a pretty sexy, you know, I guess you could say design personally, even though it's not really my type of ship. My ship is a Galaxy class, which is what I responded with. Oh man, I really did need to brush my hair. Well, I can do that real quick. Not gonna hurt me any. Yes, folks, I'm actually letting my hair out of the ponytail for a change. I know it's scary. Anyway, that can go away now because I got that set up. And yes, create a new character on Oblivion. Why not? No, I got to figure out a patch or find a patch that fixes one of the problems with Oblivion. It's basically the problem I've noticed is you get to a certain point within the Mages Guild storyline.
Yeah, then it kind of plateaus.
Oh no, you can't complete it. Like you kill the whatchamacallit, the individual that's trying to is one of the ones to get one of the quests to get into the Mages Guild, actually.
Oh, okay.
One of the recommendations quests, and it's like you motherfucker.
Is it the dream one?
No, I can do that one. It's the one where you got to go to the inn out in the middle of nowhere, posing as a merchant.
It has been too long. The Mage's quest line is not one of the ones I really remember all too much.
I don't blame you. Like we were talking earlier, the Dark Brotherhood quests are the ones that are fucking
badass.
My God,
the Dark Brotherhood was amazing.
Dude, I always do.
It's just a shame that once you become the listener, it's just not as fun anymore.
Dude, what the real shame with Oblivion is once you've completed, like, there's a lot to do. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's once you've completed all the guild's quests and all the main storyline and everything, there's really like you're out.
It's just like every other open world game is where once you've actually done the main quest line and a lot of the secondary storylines, it's just not much else to do but make a new character and do something else. Just do it all over again, but in a different way.
Don't copy anything right now. What? Yes, I do, Star. Yes, I do. I would have it on here, but
I have yet to play ESO, and that's a combination of my internet not really being too good for an MMO and me just not being interested.
Oh, dude, ESO is fun. Like I even got a chance to be in the beta for Somerset. Oh man, that was fun. That was my first time actually playing. It's a standard two-handed Nord.
It seemed like the concept was interesting enough. The only thing I really didn't like was the Ebonheart Pact. I just don't think the races work at all whatsoever in that combination. Dark Elf and Orgonian? No. Those three would never work together, ever. But
it's fun. I will say that, and it's funny because my
and that just seemed like the Cyrodiil PvP arena is very interesting. Well put together with like the siege battles and everything. Actually looks pretty neat. But whenever I saw the video, like the early trailers for it, and saw the videos of people playing like the early patches of the game, it seemed like, yeah, okay, this is just every other MMO ever done.
They fixed that. Like they've made a lot of improvements because of the fact that a lot of people were saying, "Well, this is basically Elder Scrolls, but like an MMO."
And like at that point, I'd rather just play Forsaken World or Perfect World because it just seems like it's ESO is just that.
Right. I don't want to. But I don't want to play either of those. Oh well. Basically, the only way to be able to get to play, and that immediately has got to be fixed. Oh God, no!
And people are still trashing Movie Bob. Yeah, Movie Bob. Movie Bob is awful. I said like the funniest shit the other day to movie Bob Chipman as a response to some to his latest bullshittery. Have you seen the latest thing that Bob Chipman said on Twitter?
You talking about the dude who said he was robbed of his
yeah, he was robbed of the future that he earned.
That dude deserves a punch in the goddamn dick. All right, let's be honest.
Here's what I said to Bob. Bob, you can't even get out of the basement, let alone off planet.
Yeah, right. I don't even think they're
he exposed this himself. He literally lives in a basement.
That's hilarious.
He lives in a basement, so yeah, that's like the perfect response ever.
Right. Oh, mother. Sorry, I'm trying to get Oblivion to stream, so may I say that the thing that pissed me off about his whole comment is like, one, those troglodytes that you were talking about, was the basically the very people who will get us off planet. You douchebag.
Freaking the king of troglodytes calling other people troglodytes.
Right. It's like, that's why I'm just, the way I look at that whole situation, I guess I hate people who do that shit, because it's posturing for the literal sake of posturing. And
there's like another thing I said, like a fuck the white working class. Who does Bob think is going to make all that shit, all those robots and spaceships he wants? The slaves? I mean the illegal alien. I mean the undocumented citizens.
And I like how you did that, because that's literally making fun of their exact talking points, dude. And it's like, come on, and that's the thing that really does piss me off about these like individuals like him. It's like, look, dude, you could sit there and say, well, so much for streaming Oblivion, but you can sit there and say, oh, well, I'm trying to help all these underprivileged or this, that, and the other. No, you're not. No, you're not. The only person you're trying to help is yourself, and the only person you're just virtue signaling to those who are too stupid to realize that all you're doing is virtue signaling. Everyone else realize all you're doing is virtue signaling and raising a needless stink because of the fact that you want to look like you're so important. Look at me, internet. I know what I'm saying. I'm an internet celebrity. I should have more say than what I do. I know better than scientists. Elon Musk is just a man beneath me. He's not working on anything. And isn't it funny how he said that Elon Musk isn't working on anything except
even though he's like the only, even though his company SpaceX is literally the only space organization to have ever made and own rocketry parts that land. After disengagement, literally everybody else like, they crash wherever they crash. You know, SpaceX is the only place that has, hey, we have these rockets that detach after their stage and land it back to the ground safely to be reused.
Oh my god, it's a revolutionary idea.
Yeah, it's like the best thing ever. It's like the best thing in rocketry since Project Paperclip.
Right. And no lie, that was a smart move. Don't even knock Project Paperclip. That was a real smart move. But my whole thing though, when it comes to like what he was talking about, he's like how he's knocking about how this is like meant for rich people and things like that, and it's like, well, yeah, you gotta fund the.
Yeah, you need the rich people to fund the shit so that way it can become so commonplace even the poor people can have it.
Innovation is what makes it more common. Look at, for instance...
Watered down economics doesn't work, but watered down innovation works a hell of a lot better.
Right? Take, for instance, I'm using a 40-inch OLED TV as my main monitor, right?
Yeah.
That TV cost me I think it was like $300-400. That TV, when it had just come out, was brand new technology. You're spending at the very least $1,000 for a cheap one.
Yeah.
But I waited a few years to where it became more, the technology became more prevalent, easier to make, innovations were made. The people who had the money to buy it at first were the ones who bought it. But over time, the technology
because of all the money they got from the rich people buying their products, they're now in a position where they can create it in mass production on the cheap, so poor people can have it.
Thank you. Hell, another prime example. Smartphones. When smartphones first came out, the only people, if you weren't making, let's say a good $2-3 grand a month at least, you couldn't afford a smartphone. But now you can go to Walmart and pick up a cheap smartphone for like $20-30.
Yeah. As I said, watered down economics doesn't work, but watered down innovation definitely does.
And so the dude just sitting there talking out his anus like he knows what he's talking about, when in actuality all he's doing is pissing people off. And I'm actually subscribed to her star. I do need to get caught back up. I'm several episodes behind.
Oh, Aiden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get my point, though. When you have a situation like this, and you have an individual that's sitting there acting like, I know what's best for everybody, because I'm an internet celebrity. Fuck you, fat
Oh, God. Someone had just showed me, the worst thing ever to do to a friend.
Oh, then don't do it. If it's the worst thing ever to do with a friend, and they're supposed to be a friend.
What it is that someone got a wire, then tied it to a Minto to where it has good enough leads on both sides. Put it inside of on the inside of a cap of a plastic soda bottle. Then screwed it on and then cut off the leads so that way it looks completely inconspicuous. But the moment someone cracks open the cap, the Mento just immediately drops in.
That is some fucked up shit. That is some fucked up shit. That's some shit you do. That's something you do to someone who you don't like. Because you don't give a shit.
How to ruin a friendship 101.
Yeah, real.
Do that while playing a game of Monopoly or Mario Party.
See, I don't see how Monopoly ruined friendships. Me and my friends play. We just have fun with it. We're just like, whatever, we're gonna lose.
Okay, but what about Mario Party?
Never played it, actually.
Never played Mario Party.
Mm-hmm.
You have not experienced the dickery that is a Mario Party game.
I've heard of the dickery that is a Mario Party
game. There is some dickery there.
I'll bet there's some dickery there. I mean, come on, it's fucking. I've heard the bullshit that people will pull, and I'm just like,
That's why I don't really like the new Mario Party, because it took away the dickery. It was like the whole point of the game.
Right. Let me see. I'm not sure how this is going to... Let me do this for the time being, because I'm not sure what this is going to pop up. One of the things I've been trying to do is any game that requires you to log in.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to do it, I don't want to have that, it's my regular email, whatever, but let's just be honest. It's still... I don't want any issues with that email account. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, my obvious email for my channel and everything, whatever. Obvious email, obvious. And that gets filled with spam, whatever. And we got to talk about, since this is supposed to be ANAOT Politics Light, we got to talk about the Catholic lady over in the UK that people are trying to pretty much ruined the life of.
Oh, what's happening now?
Oh, you didn't catch that video? Basically, a Catholic woman writes for basically a British or an English conservative outlet or Christian outlet. I'm not entirely sure who she writes for, but she made a comment, I do believe, on Twitter, and there's like this whole thread of. Let me see if I can find it. I'll shoot you the actual Tim Pool video.
Okay.
Because that's how I found out about it.
Because none of this is clicking the bell, so somehow this completely went under my radar.
Oh, dude, it's shitty. Basically, she was smart and put, like, one, she made sure to state she's not going to be intimidated. She's not going to back down. She's not going to do any of that. She's going to stand her ground and posted a thread talking about everything that these jackasses are trying to do to her. Oh, that's comical. But anyway, I'm trying to find it.
I guess while you're trying to pull that up, two very interesting things have happened in my sphere of creativity.
In the gaming realm? The tabletop gaming realm, I should say?
Tabletop gaming and in comics.
Huh.
Well, which one do you want to hear about first?
Let's go with the comics. That's the main area. That's the main area I hold in.
Remember how in the group chat I gave that very rough concept of a new comic and called it Crypt Guard?
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what?
You're actually doing something with it?
Dr. Science Wizard liked the concept so much he actually wants to draw for it.
Nice! Like, that's badass.
He really, really wants to draw for it. He loves the idea that much.
Hey, that is badass, dude.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and then all I did was, like, I asked him, hey, if a comic was called Crypt Guard, what do you think it would be about, like, during one of his drunk AMAs? And that's how the ball got rolling there.
Nice. And was it on his main channel? Maybe that's why I can't find it.
And so he he really wants to do the drawing for that in the near future.
That's awesome. Hey,
I guess once he feels that his art is good enough.
I'm happy I got him. The old buddy that, like, the main guy that trained me actually. Is like, yeah, I'll fucking draw it. He's like, he's anxious, he's nervous, and I'm like, man, dude, you got this. You got this, guy. Because the dude's got badass art. I wish I had, like,
oh yeah.
I wish I knew where a lot of my art of his was. And then where?
And as for the other thing that's in the tabletop side of things, I pitched a creature idea to an indie tabletop game that just got, like, fully funded and was looking for extra content to add in.
Nice.
And they loved it, and they're going to credit me for it.
See, I already knew exactly where you're going with it. That's why I said nice, dude. It's like, he wouldn't be talking about this unless they didn't accept it.
Yeah. Do you want to hear about it? Because it's some pretty dank stuff.
Go ahead, dude. Like I said, I'm still looking for this video, so I can multitask.
The name of this creature is called a Hemoviper. Do you want to try and guess what a Hemoviper is?
Blood snake, basically? The snake made of blood?
Hemovipers. A disgusting parasitic creature that looks a lot like an earth lamprey. However, it is the size of a python and have teeth that can puncture through steel. This creature is only found in heavily swampy marshlands for some reason throughout the whole galaxy. What makes the hemovipers particularly nasty is that it uses its teeth to puncture through the hard carapaces and armor of its victims, so it can get right into their flesh where it then suck the blood from their veins. This can even heal any wounds the hemoviper suffers. What's even worse is that the hemoviper seems to have latent psychic abilities, as despite having no means to fly, they can levitate in the air and strike with precision from any direction. And should they overstuff themselves with blood, basically temporary HP, like if they're at full health and you suck out blood, they can have temporary health.
Uh-huh.
But if their temporary health equals to their normal health, one or two things will happen. Either A, the creature explodes, showering its victims with noxious acidic innards, or B, the creature seemingly evolves into an intelligent creature that can direct and command nearby hemovipers and have even higher psychic abilities. No one knows that these foul spawn have even more forms beyond the second phase. Nobody's ever allowed the creature to survive further or have lived to see the next phases.
Are you fucking retarded, man? that is a broke. What the fuck? Sorry. So we had a cold front come through a couple days ago, and I left my windows open the night it came through.
Oh no.
So I'm kind of I'm not sick, but I'm at that. You can tell it tried making me sick. my voice is yet to recover.
So how do you feel about the hemoviper there?
That is a fucking broke. There it is. But yeah, no, dude, that's a fucking broke dick ass fucking concept. What the fuck, man?
And the thing is, the problem with that is that they are in the swamplands. So just imagine that shit going on in like an area where you can barely visibly see because of like all the swamp gas and fog that's going on, and then like the heat sensors probably won't work because they're all covered in swamp water and mud. And it can strike from any direction. Just get wrecked in horror fashion.
Wow. Just wow. See, that just all I gotta say is that is beyond broke dick, and oh god, you're an evil man for doing that.
Oh, but I love being evil.
Like oh my, it's just all right. I sent you the video
talking on Twitter.
It. Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's like, but basically, like they were doing things like sending food to her house, like ordered food and things like that. Called the police to her house several times, like far left trans activists doing this, and it's like, okay, are you retarded? Do you not realize that all you're doing is creating a situation where people are going to be even less likely to support you because of the things that you're doing, because of all the, like, as I've stated before, when it comes, I don't care, it's your body, not mine.
Do whatever you want with it.
Exactly. But, which is the big thing here, when you are doing things like these individuals, you know, let me do that because I'm not sure what all is gonna pop up with. I just got thinking about that. But you are hurting, like you're doing more damage to trans people, far more damage to trans people than any of the most staunchest conservatives ever could. And it's like you might as well be working for the conservatives at this point.
Ooh, about to play some Dreadnought.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, here we go, fam.
I haven't played this game since it was in the beta. And the only reason why I played it was let me go back actually first. like show off my ships. Gotta figure out where they changed so much of this game from
the aspect in this call is kind of skewed because it seems like there's just some bits of the game screen that just isn't showing. I don't know if that's the case in the YouTube video, but here in the call, the aspect of the game is kind of fucked up.
It's backwards. I think it's even that way in the call. It's flipped.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, this one right here. I
think there's
no,
this one huge portion of the screen just off screen.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine. On mine, it's showing it fine. Like on my screen, it's showing the whole screen. So I think it's doing fine. But no, dude, like this right here is one of the one like dude, too much. This is one of the founder dreadnoughts.
Looks so good.
I know, dude. And
it looks so good.
And would like show off that.
Oh my god, that looks so fucking Warhammer. I love it,
dude. And what's funny?
I love it.
I was badass. I wasn't the one like. All right, so the friends I've mentioned before.
The only thing that'd be more Warhammer than this is if the entire top deck of the ship is just a giant cathedral.
Right, that would be bad. But
just turn that entire flat top deck into a cathedral, and you're good.
Right, but well, no. How I got it though was because a buddy of mine, one of his good friends, that I will play with and everything. Like I'm cool with Chris. I'm just not. I'm not like Doug is with him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like he pretty much was like, "Hey, you want to join us and play some Dreadnought? What's Dreadnought? Oh, do you like space violent? You had me at space." And he's like, "Okay, cool." And he sent me the link to be able to get in, and this is the ship I got because he had invested in the game basically, and so he had gotten like 4 extra ships, and this is the one he gave me, the Morning Star. I haven't played this game for fuck all over, so I'm just gonna fucking
try and shake off the rust a little bit.
Oh yeah, dude, you got that damn right. And
freaking loadouts.
It's like, man,
the only other there's only like 2 other like spacecraft games that I enjoy more than Dreadnought. That is Warhammer 40K, Battlefleet Gothica, and the other one is Avorion, because in Avorion you can literally just build your own freaking spaceship.
Oh, nice.
Make your own fleet.
That is awesome.
And if you've never played or even seen Avorion, I would definitely suggest it. It is so good.
Okay. Like,
they're eventually trying to build up to where you can start your own faction and that thing, and they haven't done so already. Build like capture your own like quadrants in space, create your own miners, create your own trade hubs.
So kind of Eve-esque, almost.
Kind of, but as I said, you can basically customize everything yourself, block by block.
Nice. Sounds a lot basically like they mixed in a bit of like Space Engineers or Empyrean into it.
I would say even more customizable than that.
Which, man, so Empyrean, dude, oh, I had created my own fighter.
Because like you can like change the blocks to where like you got like a big old hunk of like metal, and then condense it down to a sheet, or it has in a way to where it's like a rod. You could do all sorts of things.
Oh, nice. No, what I was gonna say is in Empyrean, dude, I created my own like fighter, right? And here's what made this thing so goddamn hilarious. Because Empyrean does have a bit of factor in with like water physics and everything, I designed it to look like a stingray. I even named it the Stingray. And it and the whole because I guess you could say the idea was is we have our base hangar come out of the water. So I wanted something that could easily fly out of water and maintain its ability to fly within the air. Downside is the original design of it just would basically, I'm gonna save that for my second ship. But it was basically, it would handle great in water, but the minute I got to the air, it was sluggish.
Oh my god, it looks so good! It looks so good!
Right? Actually.
This actually sort of reminds me of like a very sci-fi, one person to each ship version of Guns of Icarus.
I have that game, actually. I have
I would love to have that game. It also kind of reminds me a bit of Junkers League, maybe. That's another one where sort of like you build your own spaceship.
Gotcha.
The
only thing I don't like about this, though, is
I don't see many people play this game, actually. The only time I've ever seen anyone play this game is when it first released, so all the Polaris people like played against each other.
I forgot. I'm playing a.
And that was back when Total Biscuit was still alive, man.
Didn't he die of like cancer or something?
Yeah, his
and like weren't
people cancer, I think it was.
And what makes it
kind of spread all over the place.
Yeah, and what makes it worse is like people were dogging him online.
Oh yeah, it was because like they wanted to rag on him because like, oh, you know, he supports Gamergate. It was like not really. He doesn't really support Gamergate. He just said he doesn't really know anything about Gamergate. He just made like a comment where he said he never knew what Gamergate was really about. Never looked into it. He just knows that it's a consumer revolt, and they wanted like professionalism and games journalism. He said he's kind of for that too. He kind of likes that idea. Then everyone just went like out the park with it.
Right.
Saying like, oh, he supports Gamergate too. Oh, he's a part of Gamergate too. Oh, he's the leader of Gamergate. It's like, really? You guys are this retarded?
All right.
Well, yeah, but because of that, you're like, oh, I hope the cancer kills you, or oh, I'm gonna kill your wife. Like, hey, how's your kid doing? It's like, what the fuck, people?
All right. I hope.
But after a while of all the freaking chemo, he started to act a little bit like the people who was gunning for him.
Well,
so you know that's.
Oh wait, no. Oh, not what I was trying to do. I'm trying to remember what the. I think it's you. I haven't. And what's sad is I just did the tutorial like a short time ago. I should. Where did that come? You, knock it off. But no, dude. Like, I don't follow streamers. Actually, I'd be lying if I said I did.
Well, Total Biscuit wasn't really a streamer. You know, he was just the real YouTube game journalist guy who was actually decent at what he was supposed to do. He was actually a professional, despite not being a professional.
So basically, he did the exact thing that people were complaining about, that the game journals were not doing and still aren't doing.
Yeah, but like no, he actually was very pro-consumer. He like played the games and talk like. There were quite a few times where he had to call out like game developers because of some bullshit.
Oh, I get it, dude. I think it's kind of shitty that, like, the one journo talking about how I cheated with to beat Sekiro.
Apparently, someone corrected me saying it wasn't a journalist; it was an editor. It was an editorial.
Well,
Was
either
was
way,
was it meant to be a game report? I'm like,
other
okay, that's a valid point, but still, why would they phrase their title like that when if
the
it's an
whole
editorial and not a game report, it literally does not matter one way or the other if they cheat at the game or not.
right? Like,
At that point, they're kind of just asking for the controversy just to get clicks, which is even more.
worse,
It was even worse. So you're not helping anybody.
right? And then, like, the thing like still gets me about a lot of these individuals that do shit like that is like, you're bitching about the fact that the game's too hard. Well, then get good, scrub.
The only thing good that ever came out of that is the meme, the copy pasta that came out of it.
I would not know.
You you cheat you cheated not only at the game but at yourself. You experienced the hollow victory.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
It's a
know what you're
shame.
talking about now.
It is a shame you do not know the difference. Oh man,
Right?
I think freaking I just discovered this like not too long ago, but the official account for XCOM did that copy pasta. They
Nice.
did it. Well, what they did was that they had a thing where someone was going against like the giant as Doomsday fuck you mech, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then one of their characters fires a fire with like their I can't remember the name of the weapon, but it's basically like the laser cannon, you know? Fired a fire at it because it only got like two like hit points left. Fire is like 99% chance to hit or 98% chance to miss it. To hit it, it missed. Then it was the mech's turn and basically wiped out like a good chunk of the party. Then the player like save scummed like exit load previous turn. Tried it again, then finally killed the mech. Then it went to like the reward screen and the debriefing screen. They had the actor for the guy who represents the council to say the copy pasta.
Nice.
Commander, you cheated not only at the game but also yourself. I'm like, yes. I even did like a response to it. And it was like a whole like Warhammer 40k anti-Xeno thing.
Now to
But,
bring. All I gotta say is real quick. Time to
fine.
bring out the big dick.
Oh no.
And
Let me see.
pew! Hi.
You gotta be around here somewhere.
Huh?
I'm just trying to find the. Yeah, there it is. Oh, what is the full? Hello, Commander. You cheated not only the game, but yourself. You didn't grow. You didn't improve. You took a shortcut and gained nothing. You experienced a hollow victory. Nothing was risked, and nothing was gained. It is a shame you do not know the difference.
All right. Oh, come on.
And my response to this is the Xenos do not deserve my efforts. The alien would cheat me as well if only it had the power to do so.
All right.
I went full on like Warhammer 40k, Xenophobe Stellaris on that whole thing.
Sorry, I may or may not have zoned out a bit there for a second because I don't really, like I said, I don't really play Warhammer, man. I'm still mad at Warhammer.
Oh well, for what?
BattleTech. I'm
Yeah.
salty. I'm salty as fuck about that shit. Oh no, you're not getting away, asshole. Because that's one of the things I like about this ship. It's got a tractor beam.
Yeah. Star Wars the shit.
Just nope, nope. And did you? Let's see if I can do this.
Gonna hyper jump.
Right into a ship.
Cheese somebody.
Like, oh,
oh shit! Okay, this time around they actually expected you to hyper jump behind their lines. And I want to play this game so badly.
It's free.
It is? I did not know that. Holy shit!
Yeah, dude.
Now, do I have the internet to pull it off? That's the question.
That's right.
That's the question.
Oh, dude. Does
this game have a single player mode or like a mode where you just fight against bots?
I don't think.
I would.
#1 spot, bitch. What you know about that?
I would love it if they just had a mode against bots. I would just play this game forever.
Right.
Especially if it's like For Honor, where the bots like 80% of the time are actually better than other players. Like, it is ridiculous how good For Honor bots are.
Oh, I believe it. I gotta see real quick though.
To see if they got like a single player / bots mode.
Oh no, I just want to see
because I know Evolve. I know Evolve has a bot mode where you play against bots.
Oh, dude, if you play against bots, it's one of the things. Wonder how I got so good at Soul Calibur back in the day? I put the game on ultra hard and played and got everything. Yeah, got everything unlocked with that. I like that 8 kills, 1 death, 5 assists, 8.0. That was not bad. Not bad. That is, let's see, double kills, best of match, 8 kills, healing done. Yeah, I'll take it, dude. I will take it. That is. I may or may not be happy with that. Sorry, I did. This is my first match in playing this game since it was in beta.
Right.
That's why I was like, let me go with Brookie. I haven't played this game for fuck all ever. Okay, I'll take it. First place is like
rusty as all hell and still get the first spot.
Then again, let's be honest, that I may or may not have been pulling some dickish shit by healing my units while at the same time attacking the other.
you know what would also be a pretty good game that we should stream? Well, there's actually a few games we should really stream together. One, of course, Minecraft. Especially
I need to put that back on my computer.
Especially since Markiplier can't drink anymore, we need to pick up the slack and do drunk Minecraft.
Oh, God. I will. Oh, God. I better have, like... Dude, we're talking. I better have like a massive fucking stash of pot if we're gonna do that. Because I'm just saying, like, you can drink all you want. I'll just be sitting there chiefed out. Which reminds me, I may be moving back to Colorado here soon.
Oh, really?
Next few months. Yes, possibly. No guarantee. Like, it's a buddy of mine's moving back there, and he's going to be staying at his grandmother's for a few months, and then he's going to be getting a place. And I told him he gets a spot and needs a roommate, dude. Let me know, because he knows I'll fucking get there, get a job, and fuck right. Yeah, dude. Oh, dude, it'd be so nice to be back in Colorado. I fucking hate Oklahoma. Granted, I'm a little close to Yellowstone for my liking, but.
Well, okay. I mean, when Yellowstone goes off, nobody's going to live it.
Oh no!
No matter where on Earth you are.
No. You could still live past the initial blast, like where I'm at right now.
But you'll be in a freaking frozen wasteland due to the ash.
Well, and the thing is, for those who don't know what we're talking about, Yosemite, the Old Yeller, reason why it does that, the geyser there, because there is a volcano under Yosemite National Park. The volcano is becoming active again for the first time in thousands of years. Last time it went off, it caused an ice age. Where I'm at now, most of America, if it goes off right now, is fucked. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. I'm in the Dustquill is actually in a better spot than I am, because I'm at the very back end of the last area of the blast radius.
And meanwhile, I'm at the ass end of Mississippi.
Yeah, you're out of the blast radius, the initial blast radius. There's a 50-50 chance of anyone within that last ring will survive, but everyone within the center vaporized instantly. Outer ring pretty much vaporized as well.
Freaking Pompeii 2.0.
Pretty much actually. It's kind of there's
part two Ashland Boogaloo.
Right. Sad thing is the fact that I guess you could say it's one of those rare moments where somebody actually knows what I'm talking about, which is always nice.
Like how long has Yellowstone been active? Like 5 years now.
We are actually overdue for Yellowstone erupting.
It's been overdue for like 5 to 10 years now.
Mm-hmm. And what's funny is it's why when I mention climate change, it's like, no, we're right where we should be. But isn't it so odd that we're right where we should be, and we're getting to that spot where the drop off happens?
Yeah.
And Yellowstone is active again. I bet you 10 to 1 those two correlate.
Nature is scary.
Huh? Nature is scary. Very scary, dude. Like, it's one of those, I guess you could say, if you don't research it and don't understand it, which most people like to go through life with blinders on anyway.
Yeah.
But
what is like the 3 answers Camus came up with when facing the absurdity of life? You don't know?
I'm not sure. Do
you know what the absurdity of life is?
Oh, I know life is pretty absurd. I mean, come on. Right now, I swear we're living in the best timeline ever with everything going on in the past.
No, like the absurdity of life. The absurdity is that life inherently has no meaning, yet we are cursed to try and find meaning for it.
Isn't that how it normally goes?
Yeah, and Camus proposes there are 3 answers to a white supremacist.
Oh, don't forget! This is now white supremacist too, according to these same assholes.
That's been white supremacist for years now. But Camus supposes there are 3 answers to the absurdity of life. Either A, you kill yourself. B, you recognize that life has no meaning and there's no point to ascribe meaning to it. Therefore, you just laugh in the face of the abyss. Or 3, the most popular answer, you just ignore it and fill your life with so much distraction that you don't realize you're slowly dying until, you actually die.
I think Hamlet, William Shakespeare said it best when he said in Hamlet, when Hamlet was born, I started digging this grave because upon birth, he immediately started dying.
Yeah, it's like, cancer has a pretty high kill count. You know who has a higher kill count?
Life. Yep. All right.
Life is the greatest killer ever known.
Right. All right. Give me a minute. I need to get some coffee real quick and use the restroom. You have the floor, sir.
All right. So, how are people doing?
Talk about your games. Show your tabletop, sir.
Show my tabletops. All right, that's fair enough. Only have uh, only have the one though. So I am trying to work on the other two now. I believe, yeah, the other two, because I got like two in the making, and one of them needs to be polished. One of them actually has its own comic that's going to be coming out. Yeah, that's going to be something to look forward to. That's being advertised on a little bit. The game itself is Escape from Paradise. It's a horror game, horror tabletop. That's based off a combination of Persona with Silent Hill, and it's getting its own comic, its own horror comic that's going to be within the Mythoverse. Be on the lookout for that on April 25th, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's going to be. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the 25th. Let me. Oh, yep, the 25th. Yeah, I'm going to be in phase 2 of that. Don't know when phase 2 is going to kick in, but it's going to be after April 25th. That's for damn sure. That's a psychological horror with a mix of Lovecraftian / cosmic horror, some psychedelic, surreal horror, and body horror. All about using your personal traumas and fears to combat the things that you enjoy in life and the stuff that you use to cope with your traumas and fears. So that's going to be a trippy ride. That's I'm interested in. Just started working on a lot of that stuff. Most of it's just still a concept, but it's actually starting to get into rough draft now. Another game to really look forward to that has a lot of work into it is Game of Wild Luck, which is a weird Western comic. It's a Wild West. I mean, not comic, a game, a Wild West game set in a fictional world with some fantasy elements into it. That one is going to be getting its own comic as well, called Tales from Beyond the Ravine: The Color of Justice, because that one's going to kick off its own universe when I manage to get that going. That was going to be all about dealing with personal trauma while being in a very Wild West world. And the third game that I'm working on is kind of a roguelike tabletop game that has a fantasy RPG half as well as a city building and civilization management half to it. And I'm probably going to try and get a comic for that one as well, because I want to try and always have a tabletop game with a comic and a comic with a tabletop game. Oof. That means that if I get Crypt Guard, that is a comic with Dr. Science Wizard, that means I'm going to have to develop a tabletop game with that one. That's going to be interesting. Wonder how I'm going to pull that one off. Well, I suppose that could actually be, pretty easy to do. Now that I think about it, it'd be pretty alright to do. I guess other things that I can talk about that I'm involved in. I just recently released a video on my YouTube channel at Dust School Team. I do showcases and interviews with independent tabletop creators. Showcase their products sometime. Actually, this video has been like long overdue. Like, I mean, it should have been out like last month, but I've been busy with school, trying to find a job. studying for school, and then like recording the thing itself was like a freaking hassle. I mean, dear Lord, like the something just always seems to happen. Like either something goes wrong with the recording, either with the software or with editing, or there's like a sound that I can't edit out, or like something has to pull me away right when I'm in the middle of recording. It just kept getting in the way over and over and over and over again. But finally did it. I have honestly no clue as to if anything bad happened to this recording. I just, oh look, I got it recorded. I did as much editing as I can. I can't double check this. I've just released it. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. I mean, dear Lord, I was desperate to get that thing out because in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing an interview with another creator. So like, okay, I just need to get this thing out in one way, in some shape and some quality, one way or the other. This video needs to get out.
Right? No, I understand that. I really do.
Yeah.
One of the things I got to do tomorrow, I'm planning on doing tomorrow, actually putting out another triggering. I haven't done that in a while. So
No, another triggering.
Yes, well, I haven't had part of the reason why I don't record as much as I used to since I live with my parents. You know, it's kind of difficult because my dad sits literally right on the other side of this wall, and one of the triggerings.
It's like the same thing. My grandparents' bed is literally up against this wall right here, right next to me.
Yeah. And there's one of my triggerings, you can hear my dad talking, and it's like, and I told him I was recording and everything, and it's like, okay, that's kind of, well, this is my dad, what do I expect, you know?
Yeah.
And so I swore at that point on, if my parents are home, I'm not going to do any recording because there's no point in it. And they almost never leave because they're retired now. It's like, well, shit. I actually have a weekend, the house to myself for the weekend, so it's like...
I am actually... my parents are going to be gone all of next week because they're going to North Carolina to visit some old friends. So it's only going to be me and my grandparents, so I'm probably going to be camping in my parents' room to do stuff.
Nice. I don't blame you. Make life simple on them. Your grandparents.
Yeah, definitely. And it also works out in my favor because my parents own the Nintendo Switch. So if I'm camping up there, that's easier for me just to get onto Nintendo Switch when I'm bored.
Nice. See,
because I wait until like the weekend because my parents work like the entire weekend just so I can play the Switch and not bother them. Oh, if they're gone all next week, that means I got like a whole week just to mess around with the Switch.
Nice. Give me a sec. One of my friends.
And I have been meaning to start leveling up my Diablo 3 characters.
Yeah.
I have a monk, a crusader, and a necromancer I've been meaning to really level up. Can I just say I am so glad Necromancer is in Diablo 3? Oh my god.
Dude.
I missed Necromancer so much.
Dude. No, right now, I'm still salty, alright? I'm still salty. when I had the money and could have easily purchased the Necromancer pack and would have, because it was only like $15, wasn't out. Then they've years later finally come out the Necromancer pack, and I'm broke, can't afford it. I'm just like, fuck you, Blizzard. That's all. Motherfuckers, why didn't you release this shit fucking 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when I could have afforded them?
I miss playing Necromancer so much.
I'm gonna try. Let's see how I do.
I'm just sad you can't have the giant Fuck you, army of the necromancer.
Dude, that's what made the necromancer
That
such a badass guess.
was like, I don't need to fight. My minions need to fight.
Right?
I could just chill in the back and hex everybody.
Right? That's what I did. I just chilled in the back, had a cigarette, relaxed. Like, yeah,
Like,
you guys do your thing. I lost the skeleton.
I'm the minion fighter. Why do I need to fight?
Right?
Minions do that for me.
Pretty much.
Because there's like,
how that?
I think like at max you had like 10 skeleton warriors, 5 skeleton mages, the golem, and then the party member, whether they be the rogue, warrior, or the barbarian.
Well, may I say my response?
At least I think there was like 3 companions you can have.
Well, real quick, I have to make this joke because of the necromancer. I have to make this joke from DBZ Birds. Like, Frida, like, oh, I don't get mad. I have people that do that for me. Garbon,
Yeah.
some more.
As I tell people, I am a necro slut. If there's a necromancer anywhere, I'm going to play it. Because I love necromancy. The only time I did not enjoy necromancy is in Elder Scrolls. I just do not like necromancy in there. It is absolutely worthless. Just
don't even
anything.
bother.
Just the summoning in Elder Scrolls is just not worth it.
Right. All I gotta say is raising a family is hard. Not if they're buried together. What?
I love necromancy so much.
Oh, dude, that class is so broken if you know how to play it in any game. Like,
I actually broke a homebrew tabletop game because I've played it a way that the creators did not intend it to be played. Because I'm multi-classed as a necromancer paladin.
That is fucking brilliant, actually.
And you want to know what my excuse for making that work was? You want to know what my lore was for that?
Huh.
I'm a paladin of the war god. And the only people I resurrect are cowards, traitors, and deserters. I am not committing crimes against humanity. I am making the deserters, the traitors, and the cowards pay their due by serving the war god in the afterlife until they pay their debt.
And it's one of those, like, the warriors that died good deaths in battle. They get to finally experience rest. The cowards and whatnot, they on the other hand,
they have to pay their dues. They have to serve me until I am satisfied with their service. Then they can go to the afterlife.
That is bloody brilliant. Like, it's about like me and my
you really like that, don't you?
I really do. All right, so the reason why I'm saying it's about like me, it's about like me and something I did back in the day. Okay.
And the reason why I had it set up like that is because he was from a very barbaric region, where you had like all the tribe states and they all warred against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And his tribe was against another tribe, and they're like fighting against each other. And during this fighting, he actually fell in love with like a female warrior of his tribe, and they pledged to like marry each other after the war was done. But then guess what?
She died.
Traitors on both sides betrayed both of the tribes and wiped out both of the tribes, including his love interest.
Ooh, that's a no good.
Yeah, and so that's how he became a necromancer paladin to the war god. That's how he was chosen to be the champion of the war god and to punish traitors, cowards, and deserters. And for his necromancy, like magic casting focus, you want to know what his casting focus was?
Huh.
A ruby gem that was placed into the eye socket of his love interest's skull that he carries around with him. And the reason why he did that was because his love interest was believed to be a chosen of the war god because she was born with one red eye. And the ruby is placed in the socket of that red eye.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah. I'm still like, come on. Trying to.
I could do some freaking character writing. I can tell you that much.
Oh yeah, no, that is a brilliant fucking way of doing it, dude. I like.
But then he, I only played him for like 2 or 3 sessions because some party members did some stupid bullshit and got him killed in an explosion.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, no, they wanted to rob. They wanted to rob a pope and apothecary for whatever reason. Then a brawl broke out and some explosion potions got knocked to the ground and just blew everybody up, and I died. I'm like, really?
See, and that is exactly why when I have those types of players,
I put so much effort into this character, and this is how he goes out.
Right. Well, that's why, for instance, the when I have players like that do stupid shit, whoever's the one that suggested it, if the rest of the party doesn't want to do it, I just make it where the one rule with that is they can say, nope, we don't want to do it. We don't do it. He goes in, he tries to do it, and he's insta-killed by the sheriff who just so happened to be in the store at that time.
Yeah. But you want to know what made him so broken?
Huh.
He mostly got a lot of his stuff from the paladin class, so he had very high armor, very high health stats, right?
Uh-huh.
But he also had a lot of the necromancer abilities. And you know what one of those necromancy abilities was?
Huh.
Life tap. Which means while he's in melee range, which he already does because he's a paladin, he's built for melee, he can touch the enemy, damage them, then all that damage goes into healing him. And if he's already at full health, he gets temporary health.
Oh, that is actually really brilliant.
Just tank shenanigans.
Yeah.
And when I did that, the DM looked at me and was like, I did not think about that.
Hey, that's what makes homebrew. Sometimes it's the most fun games are homebrew games.
And that is like me with every game I go into a homebrew. Like, I just unintentionally make the most broken characters in the game.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong with that. I encourage it actually.
Like even with another homebrew with the same DM, but it was like a Kingdom Hearts kind of base game, but instead of like, while I still had like the Final Fantasy and the Disney stuff in there, it also included, like the worlds from their own homebrews, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like their own homebrews were added into the pot of Kingdom Hearts, and I made my Western character from one of our friends' tabletop games, which is Clyde McTaggart, the guy that a lot of my stuff is based off of. Like my avatar is Clyde McTaggart, right?
Yeah.
And I got him into the Kingdom Hearts game. Like, you know what? I'm going to do something interesting with this character. He was a bounty hunter in the Wild West game. I'm going to make him a boss melter character. He does extra damage against bosses, right?
Uh-huh.
The funny thing about that, with his getup, with his gear set, and his ability set, with how he's geared, I did like, if I timed a lot of the party buffs with his extra damage to bosses and his hammer fan, which allowed him to do guaranteed D8 hits because he had a 9-shooter, right? He has a 9-shooter gun.
Mm-hmm.
If I do Hammer Fan, I roll a D8. Whatever that D8 comes up to, that's how many shots are guaranteed to hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So add that many shots with the buffs, with the extra damage to bosses, plus an extra ability I earned, which allows him to deal double damage if he lands multiple shots in a row. Yeah, in a turn, I did up to like 1,000 damage in one turn.
That is fucking broken, dude.
I one-shotted Sephiroth in all 3 phases.
That
One-shotted Sephiroth in all 3 phases because while yes, Hammer Fan was supposed to have a cooldown, the DM said that he was going to be generous to us and allow all of our cooldowns to reset with every phase.
he shouldn't have done that. By the sound of it,
He did not realize how broken Clyde was. I did not realize how broken Clyde was until that happened.
Oh, dude, you never do realize how broken certain characters are until you really get them, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's like, I just make the most unintentionally broken characters ever without trying.
Right.
Freaking love it. I love being me.
I need to get some, need to get that rare moment where I'm like, cover. That's all I gotta say.
This game is still so good.
Oh, dude, it is. And notice, I haven't died yet. I've just been...
Yeah, you're just racking up kill points here.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever played any games where you're allowed to like customize your vehicle to use in the game?
Like, you're talking actual, like
a Vorian from the depths, Junker League, none of that stuff?
Nope.
To be honest, from the depths, you like need some engineering skills because it accounts for a lot of things. Like you need to like properly build your engine. You need to properly build your weapons, to do certain stuff. Your defense systems, your ability to stay in the water, all sorts of stuff.
Oh, word! Oh! Come on! Nope, you coming to me, motherfucker! That's my response to you getting too close to me.
You want to get close? Let's get close.
Pretty much. You see what I do, right?
Basically that meme scene from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures.
I haven't seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, actually.
Jotaro, you dare approach me? You come closer to me? I have to get closer to you so I can kick your ass. Oh, very well. Come as close as you like.
And basically, I take it, Ben pulls JoJo's close.
Fucking love JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, man. So bullshit. So good. So many memes.
Right. Oh, and I'm about to be able to do it again.
Another one of my favorite memes is from the Pillarman arc. It's like your attempt to try and rouse my anger is admirable, but unfortunate for you, I cannot be angered.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Oh, where'd he go?
Then there's one of my personal favorites to use, which isn't a line from the anime, but people have changed like the subtitles to, to insert this saying next you're going to say I was only pretending to be retarded.
Damn it! Defeat. That is bullshit.
Damn.
I'm sad, panda sad. All the sad, panda sad.
Zawardo over heaven.
I didn't even make the top 3. That sucks.
Did you know that JoJo's Bizarre Adventures for the longest time is actually a vampire anime?
No, I did not.
It is, in fact, a vampire anime.
Hold up. Okay. Hold up. No. Best of match, 9 kills. Best of match, Dreadnought, weapon damage. Best of match, energy used. Right?
But you did not win.
I did not get the... I was still second on my team. Wait, how did... Oh, okay, someone else got more kills. And how did I get best of match?
You actually got most of the kills in the entire game. Only 2 people got more kills than you.
Uh-huh. Either way. And I got 0 deaths. Who else got... Okay, the top 2 over there.
And your most bottom guy has 0 deaths, but he also got 0 kills and 0 assists, too. God damn, that guy was useless.
That happens, though, dude. Sometimes you just...
Well, maybe he was the healer? I have no idea.
Like, it
maybe went full repair.
Sometimes people do that, and you can get some points doing that, dude. You really can.
Oh, yeah. But he had like 15 points, so I'm not sure.
Right.
You all right there?
Yeah. I think it was... So I've been adding in, because I just use straight regular creamer.
Right.
I've been adding in this... what you call it, kind of like the old International Delights powder stuff, but it's the cappuccino mix to my coffee to give it a little bit of extra flavor. Mainly because my mom got it for me, so I'm going to drink it.
Oh yeah, and I just now remembered this. How do you feel about the Chiba-fied Mythoverse cast members? You ever seen the Chiba-fied Mythoverse people?
Chiba-fied? So like Chibi, but Chibi variant?
Yeah, Chibi.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
It is so good. Like, you have like Althea and Adobe like arguing against each other about how to take care of a baby Maeve.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
I'm baby Maeve.
I had to do the joke on where Adobe was like being very hostile to Althea holding on to baby Maeve. I was like, Mom, Dad, please quit fighting.
Right. And it just makes me think of the Nail, DBZ abridged with Nail and Kami, or Nail and Piccolo had already fused, but Kami and Piccolo finally fused, and Nail's like, Mom, Dad, please stop fighting.
Yeah,
like, come on.
And like, Brett was like, well, in this case, she has 2 moms. I'm like, oh, true, it would disrupt the reference. As I direct quoted.
That is so hilarious. All right.
And I'm like, guys, this is the crossover I want. Just do this crossover. The purpose of the Mythoverse has been done. Just make this the crossover event.
Lol. All right.
They're like, I have an idea of what they want the crossover event to be. Pretty good idea what they want the crossover event to be.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I think I already got that. I don't know. I like. Sorry, I'm looking at a ship.
I cannot wait for that crossover event because freaking Matt has been hyping me up for it because he's been giving me many devious ideas.
Dull.
ideas I don't want to go into, on this live stream, but lots of devious ideas.
Very, very devious ideas.
But then again, it's me. I don't need a whole lot of help to come up with devious ideas.
Right. All right. Right now, I'm looking at trying to get me more ships so I can be like, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just saw it mentioned in like the description of Jupiter Arm, so I'm actually curious. How do you feel about transhumanism?
Transhumanism.
Do you know what transhumanism is?
I'm thinking of like basically another species trying to be human.
No. Transhumanism, what it is augmenting the human body with cybernetics.
I'm all for it.
You're all for that?
Uh huh.
That's your jam? The flesh is weak?
Dude, I would do it in a heartbeat. If we had
Oh, definitely. I would do so much shit with cybernetics. I'm not even gonna lie if it was an option. Not even gonna lie. I don't even care. It's like the Deus Ex variant where I need a drug in order to make it all work. I am down for it.
Well, like the way I look at it, dude, going in the direction of cybernetics, things like that, body like the modification, I guess you could say, is
I would say a more apt description of transhumanism would be achieving the next step of human evolution through cybernetics and technology.
Mm-hmm. No, it to me it just makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because one letting one evolution is too slow. Let's just be honest. It is.
Especially since we're at this stage where most of the conflict that would drive evolution has been pretty much erased from our daily lives.
Mm-hmm. And that's the problem. Without when it comes to evolution, what a lot of people don't realize is when a species becomes stagnant, it eventually does die out. It will go extinct. So you constantly need. It's why I keep saying we need to get out into the stars. We need to be out in space. New, I guess you could say, genetic stimuli, if you will. New versions for us to be able to overcome because of the fact
that. And I think that's sort of why a lot of scientists all over the world are going deeply into genetic modification. They can,
I agree
human,
with that
the human pig hybrids, and now the human monkey hybrids in China, trying to augment monkey intelligence with human genes.
It can be done.
Yeah, apparently it's already been done. They're doing the foundation of it, as we speak.
Yeah, it's one of the now.
I guess this would be more fitting for Amulet, but still is a very interesting topic.
Oh, dude. It's one of those, can it be abused? Yes, but all things can be abused.
Oh, yeah.
It's that's one of the biggest issues. Dude I used to be friends with, him and I got into a big old debate about the ethicality of in science, and I made the point. It's like ethics, to an extent, has no place in science.
Science has nothing to do with ethics. It is what can and cannot be done, not what should and should not be done.
Thank you.
You need outside sources in order to handle that stuff.
To me, if you are trying to sit there and say, well, but my ethics, my human rights violations. Okay, who said we have to violate human rights? There is. I understand you need restrictions, but at the same time, you don't
should and should not be done is saved for the grandfather of science, philosophy. Meanwhile, the can and cannot be done is saved for science.
Exactly. Sometimes, in order to further the species, you must be willing to throw out the things that can hold the species back. And when it comes to science, ethics will hold us back. I am trying to figure out how to upgrade my weapons, if you're wondering.
Yeah, that's no problem.
But So when you have something like I said, science that, like, take for instance the whole cloning debate back in the day, right? We're talking mid 90s, late 90s. Oh, we cloned a sheep. What now?
Yeah.
Well, you cloned a sheep. That is
Well,
the first
I
step
mean,
to.
you could go on and on and on about like all the ways you can abuse the thing, but at excuse me, but at the same time, hey, we got cloning tech. We can make organ farms, so we don't have to do like long waits for organ donations.
Yeah, it was like, oh, we figured out a way to clone you a brand new liver. Oh, and guess what? Because it's your fucking liver, you don't have to worry about it being rejected, so you're not on immunoblockers your whole life.
Yeah, and we don't have to wait until someone kills over to get their organs, or wait until someone volunteers to donate something.
Yeah.
We could just take your DNA and then clone it, and then make you a new organ, so you can just have it.
Yeah.
Of course, it can be abused. Like, I know one thing that would be possible is a thing that was talked about in Mass Effect, where people get kidnapped and they become organ farms.
Yeah.
They just have organs growing inside of them, and they just get continuously harvested for their entire life. That can happen.
And then, like, and the way they did it though in Mass Effect, it was, unethical and wrong, because he was preying on people who, you know what I mean, the downtrodden.
Yeah, you exactly go out and kidnap people. You got people who are desperate enough for credits to do literally anything.
Yeah. But if you were out in the open about it and be like, okay, so what we're doing is we're using people to grow new parts for other people, or you can just take because remember, you can take the genetic material and graft stem cells to it to grow the organ you need.
Yeah.
Oh, but stem cells are controversial. Who gives a shit how controversial they are?
Do you know how many things nowadays are quote unquote controversial?
It's sad, really. It really is. It's kind of sad, because of the fact that it's like we should. How do I put it? We should have already stepped past that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, and like you said earlier, want to talk about the XCOM thing. Remember how I said that the line that the response to say was kind of inspired from the xenophobe advisor from Stellaris?
Mm-hmm.
You will hear the exact quote that the xenophobe advisor says. It's like the greatest quote of all time ever. Under no circumstances must the Xeno be trusted. It will lie, it will cheat, and it will do anything in its power to undermine the efforts of those who, in truth, are its superiors.
Huh.
It is like the best quote ever. I love it to death.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually the wow, that's I'm surprised. I'm doing better than a couple buddies of mine. This is the guy that gave me the game. That's why I was saying that. Like, I'm surprised I'm doing better than him score-wise. I wonder if it has
hatred is my sword, disgust is my shield.
Right. Let's see. Earn the highest code until match. Supporter. Like, I think.
Are these all the medals you won?
Yeah, I'm just saying which ones I've had. By the looks of it, they've gotten rid of a lot of the ones, all the ones that you had prior, like from the beta. Like,
so all your beta awards aren't here?
Yeah.
That sucks.
I know, dude. I'm just like, oh, but I had so many fucking medals, man.
I was so good at the game back there. Why you gotta do this to me?
Right. Oh, dude, you have no idea. I spent like fucking hours. And I literally mean that. hours in this game when it was beta. That's why when it finally came on Steam and was free to play, I was like, I'll get back to playing it eventually, just because I burnt myself out on playing it.
Right.
And I'll wait until I finally have.
Oh yeah. And in that DM that I told you about, whose games I always manage to break, he's doing another one, and I'm doing another multi-class thing. And guess what? I am multi-classing as a pirate and a marksman. You want to know why? Because I have discovered some starter level abilities where if I put them together, I can basically make a Navy SEAL.
So you're trying to create Big Boss, basically.
Pretty much, because try and get this. So I am basically playing a dead fallen angel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, I get this ability called Phase, where I take no damage for 1 turn. I get to use that ability once per long rest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm following the War God. And because of that, the War God is kind of interesting because he's the god of war and also the god of peace, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I get duality. Once per long rest, you deal double damage, but take half damage for 2 turns. And you gain advantage in diplomacy checks. Alright? Now, because I'm a pirate, I get a pirate fighting style. What I have is close quarter shooter, which basically means I am trained in making ranged attacks at close quarters. When making a ranged attack while within 5 feet of a hostile creature, I do not take disadvantage on the attack roll. As well, my ranged attacks ignore half cover and 3/4 cover against targets within 30 feet of me. And finally, I get +1 bonus to attack rolls on ranged attacks. I also get Dead Man Tells No Tales, which basically means I just get advantage on intimidation checks on people who recognize me. Now, here's where the marksman comes in. I get grit points. Marksmen can gain grit points equal to their charisma modifier, and the number cannot exceed my charisma modifier. I can gain grit points by taking short or long rests, doing critical hits on firearms, doing a killing blow on a firearm, or bypassing charisma checks, right?
Uh-huh.
And I also get firearm proficiency, which means I get another +1 to hit with a firearm. So that's already a +2 on my 2 hit with firearms right then and there.
Oh wow.
But then I can do some crazy shit. Like I can get like increased damage with a rifle of some kind, so long as it's not a sniper rifle. Oh, I could do all sorts of stuff. I'm like, I'm calling this the Navy SEAL / Marine build.
I don't blame you, dude.
I'm gonna fuck some people up with my combat rifle, and you can't do anything to stop me.
I don't blame you. Like, just wow.
Oh man, it's gonna be a fun day and actually that campaign where I played this character goes on tonight at like 11:30. So in like 3 hours or so.
So we're still good to keep going for the time being, as far as I know.
Oh yeah, we could practically go on for like quite a while longer.
Nice. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to play. I know I can't play fucking Subnautica because that game will just...
What's the way he described it? Soft start at 11:30, hard start at 12.
Oh, okay.
Well, he says CDT. CDT. What's CD?
Oh.
Central? I don't know what CD means. I'm going to go with Central because we live in the same state. So.
Central Daylight Time.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
I'm just going to
it's another term for Central.
Okay, that's what I figured. So yeah, I still got like 3 hours before that game starts.
Right. And that's why I was.
But yeah, it's like soft start at 11:30, hard start at 12. So if it doesn't start at 11:30, it's going to start at midnight.
See, that works. That works. I find. Oh! We have to talk about this. We can't wait until
Oh no. Oh no.
Sunday. The one. I don't remember his name, but the Obama guy that got indicted in out of the Mueller investigation and whatnot.
Right.
And well, am I the only one that's not surprised by that? Especially being the fact that when you sit down and look at everything that happened with the Mueller probe and what led up to it and everything. And you know more is coming, but Barr is going to be getting motherfuckers with. And here's the thing. I hope Barr.
I think my ability to be surprised is kind of dead at this point.
Oh, I don't blame you. I really don't blame you.
I think it's kind of impossible to surprise me anymore.
Hey, fat ass, you got food in your own room. Really?
Your cat bothering you again.
Not my cat. My mom's cat is eating my cat's food. And he said, I'm
just gonna eat all the food in my house.
Yeah, it's like, you little shit. My cat's looking at me like, I don't give a shit. I eat his food. It's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, what the fuck ever.
Pretty much. But no, like the Barr investigation. I hope he does like clean, like literally everyone involved ends up coming up on charges of some kind for one reason. You want to discourage this from ever happening again. Because the bar should have been so high for them to do this. And then Jim Clapper going on The View this week. Well, we weren't, I don't like the word spying, because we weren't spying on his campaign. We were just monitoring what the Russians were doing and how they were trying to influence the Trump campaign and how they were trying to get in there. And then Joe Behar's like, oh, well, Trump should have no problem with that. He should be happy that you did what you did. I know, right?
Right. I'm not sure how I feel about this, but I saw a rather interesting homebrew race for Dungeons and Dragons 5e. The tune kind. The tune kind. It is literally playing 3 different styles of cartoons as a D&D race.
Oh, wow.
You have the Rubber Hose, the Franken-Niley, and the Warn.
So, I'm just... You're getting off topic.
I'm not sure how I feel about this.
You must really want to avoid this because you know how... You're like, no. I don't want to touch on this. This is
the fucking dickery that is the entire Mueller probe.
Oh, I know. And the fact that it's being turned against them, they should have seen this shit coming. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I swear, if Trump, this is even including, like, if Trump does win, like, 2020.
There's no if at this point. He's going to win.
If the next president happens to be, like, the next president after Trump happens to be a Democrat, there better be, like, 2 to 4 year long criminal investigations at every little thing that president's ever done, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the president we are setting.
Oh yeah. It's like, that's why I said, let this, like, the Barr investigation into how this happened, like, I'm sorry, what you have here is a situation that when Nixon, who, remember, I was a Republican, yeah, when he tried doing this with the Democratic back in the late 60s, remember, right? When he tried doing it then, because I think Watergate was like 68, 69, somewhere
Right.
there. What ended up happening is he got caught. He tried blocking it. He got caught again. All those various issues that had happened.
And then he was forced to resign before impeachment.
But see, the problem is Obama's already out of office, so he can't be forced to resign. But imagine if it had been like Hillary in office, she would have been forced to resign.
Right.
Her and the vice president would not have been. They would have gone all the way to the Speaker of the House. Like, they would have.
This actually makes me think about a government design concept that I came up with when I was like in my my third year of high school. I only told like one other person about it, and he kind of liked it, but I haven't told like anybody else this concept. I'm not sure how well it would actually work. So basically, take what we have here in America, right? But we're going to change it around a little bit. What we're going to do is that we're going to limit the president and every other office of government to one term limit and one term only, right?
Okay.
But we make this term last for 10 years, right?
Okay.
Now, the reason why we're going to do this is because while the entire country runs off of something like the Constitution, you have these set of laws that are the law, and no matter what you do, you cannot change it. You have these laws that are above your station, including the president. You cannot touch them. You cannot change them. You cannot get rid of them. You cannot do a thing in regards into how the literal interpretation of what these laws state, right? Now, after every 10 years for every election, like the election is going to go off in year 8, right? Of the previous government's, of the previous establishment's rule. On year 8, we do the election. And what you're going to do is that you're going to have specific people, like no parties, none of that stuff, no Democrat, no Republican, no independent, no libertarian, no green, no Nazi, communist, socialist, none of that stuff. Purely individual and individual principle, right? They are going to monopolize a certain topic that the public has an issue with. They're going to monopolize that problem, and they're going to try and come up with ways to convince people that the problem they are cornering is the biggest problem of the time, as well as that their means of tackling that problem is the best way to tackle that problem, right? Now, when they get elected, they're going to spend their first 2 years, well, not even their first 2 years, they're going to spend the last 2 years of the last regime to build their own government from the ground up. They're going to make their government the way they can to best tackle their problem that the people have designated to be the biggest problem of that time. In those last 2 years, they're going to build the government from the ground up to tackle that problem. And then when the last 2 years goes up, Everybody that's worked in the last government is forbidden to work in the government ever again. And then the new government starts their 10 years. And then it just does that cycle again. The only thing it cannot do is disrupt the Constitution, whatever the Constitution for this type of government setup would be.
So basically, the Constitution, like you have your Constitution, your basic.
The Constitution is going to be the framework of what is and is not allowed, for what is not allowed for the government to do.
Basically, it's not just a Constitution; it's like a Constitution and Bill of Rights in one, and then you have more or less a soft revolution every 10 years. And
basically, the way my friend described it, it is a casual revolution to stop extreme stagnation.
It makes it to where, like, you can't, like, certain things, like, for instance, you could put in the Constitution, Bill of Rights, that it'll never be a, like, an only way, for instance, that you would be able to institute, like, socialism is if we reached a point where resources were no longer an issue. Like,
yeah. And it's like the government could be whatever way it wants within the framework of the Constitution. It could be authoritative. It could be libertarian in nature. It could be entirely capitalistic. It could be socialist. Just whatever it means the people believe is to solve the problem.
But they cannot.
The only thing is it cannot breach the overlaying Constitution, whatever that stipulates.
Basically, it prevents, like, a Caesar from coming into power and maintaining power.
Yeah, and one of the things that the Constitution will have to stipulate is that you cannot disrupt the 10-year cycle.
And you can't choose your successor, and you can't...
You cannot choose your successor either.
Okay. But, I mean...
How do you feel about that?
It was...
It's a very complex way of doing things.
Very complex way of doing things. I feel there are certain things that'd be streamlined to make it more efficient, but at the same time, I'm like, this might actually, because what did how did that? I think it was Benjamin Franklin that said, in order to maintain a free society, in order to maintain power over your government, something along that line, you must have a revolution every 50 years. Yeah. But this is every 10 years, and this is forcing, and this makes it to where, like, for me, I would make it to where only within certain conditions could certain things be done, i.e. like socialism. The only way you'd be able to actually create the socialist, like, quote-unquote utopia is if you've somehow created, like, replicators and things like that, and we no longer have to worry about resources. At that point, it doesn't matter. It's because of the fact that we all have, like, replicators built into our house. So, and all the trash is being broken down into blank molecules, but I'm just saying it is a unique idea. It may be doable. I'm not entirely sure how it would work in concept, because take, for instance, communism. Communism works great on paper. Brilliant idea. The people have control of the government. More rich, wealthy people
seizing the means of production.
Yeah, things like that.
But the problem is communism doesn't
factor in
seizing the means of production as a shorthand doesn't account for who exactly is seizing the production.
Exactly. You still have the haves and have-nots. And you add in the human element, everything that was supposed to be goes out the window. And that's why I just can't co-sign communism, socialism, things.
And of course, I also have another government aspect that's a bit different than what I previously stated, that is probably a bit more doable.
Yeah. Well,
and how that one works is that whenever you elect a politician, they stay in for life. All right, they stay in, for life. Don't do any re-elections. Don't do any of that stuff. But the catch is that they are banned in any way, shape, or form from making any sort of money. They cannot make money in any sort of way. And if they do make money, literal execution. But they're not
Basically,
allowed
it's to prevent corruption because they cannot
yeah,
have any form of money. Everything they need is provided by the government
yeah,
for them.
the
But
thing, let me continue along with it. They are forbidden from making any money. They are banned from making money. They are banned from owning property. They are banned from owning businesses. What happens instead is that while they are in office, they they um they live in a community provided housing. People pay for their living standard.
mhm,
You know, and if people feel they're doing a good job, they can pay more into it. It's completely voluntary.
mhm,
There's only going to be a bare minimum they're allowed to live off of that's provided by the government,
mhm,
which can be provided by taxes or whatever means, right?
mhm.
Now, another catch is that if the people feel that the person that they elected for life is not doing an adequate enough job, like if they get caught into any controversy and is proven beyond like a shadow of a doubt through like a court proceeding that they have done something very corrupted,
Mhm.
like no balls, just straight execution for corruption, right?
Yeah.
But if the people just feel that the person just not doing a satisfactory enough job, they can hold an election to see if they want to have the guy voted out. And if it passes, the person that they elected stays in power while they do an election for someone to replace them. And then once that election is over with, the person replaces them, they go out of office, they gain a retirement check that gives them like, hey, here's the money that you've earned in your time of service. You use this to buy a house or rent an apartment, maybe own a business or whatever, just until you can just a lot amount of money until you can get on your own feet, get a job, become a part of society, and this new guy moves into your community housing.
Huh.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
yeah.
Oh, well,
I
either
say
way,
it's probably a lot more doable than my other idea.
well, eh, like either way, they both have like, I guess you could say, what would be the best way to put it? Both have their flaws, both have their possible pluses, but at the same time,
Yeah, and these are just concepts. Like I have not talked in discussion with anybody about this, so
oh yeah,
it's just concepts alone.
oh yeah. All right, I need to get me a bit more of the elixir of life.
Yeah, I need to also give me something to snack on and something to drink.
All right, about basically a few minute interlude, folks. We'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back in quite a few. And I am back, people. It was like there it isn't back yet. That's fine. Oh. Pretty bag. Stay open. Professional streamers, everybody. Absolutely professional. Oh, how's everybody doing? Do we still have people? I don't think so. I don't think we got people anymore in the YouTube chat. That's sad. So, went from a gaming stream to kind of like any what political Sundays. Kind of funny how that stuff happens. Just shit like that just happens time to time, you know. Gotta roll with the punches. You know, try and get some people in here, get some blood pumping in the chat. Oh, hey, Gorgonite, what's going on? You haven't missed much. Bob was playing some Dreadnought. We talked about possible game ideas we could play together. I talked about all the different projects I've been working on. Talked a little political here and there since, you know, like the past couple of weeks, so much stuff has been going on. What else has been happening? I just basically described to Bob what a couple of ideas. Yeah, I'm eating a cookie. No problem with that. I haven't ate all day except for like at 8 in the morning when I had a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit sandwich, a hash brown, and a frappe from McDonald's.
Dog wants out, so I'm going to be a few more minutes.
All right. And anyways, I also talked to Bob about some different government structures that I thought about when I was younger. See what he thought about. I'm pretty sure if you were to rewind back like a few minutes, you could probably hear them before and then catch up to the stream before he comes back. And to let you know, Gorgonite, these aren't your, you know, average cookies that your regular Eve thoughts would order themselves to eat. These are Pepperidge Farm Sausajitos, milk chocolate macadamia. I'm a man of goddamn culture. You got some orange jet. Go screw yourself. Yeah. After the stream is over, I seriously need to eat some goddamn dinner. Oh yeah, and another very important thing that happened in this in this stream was that we were making fun of movie Bob Chipman, movie Blob. Star Wars Battlefront 3. The good one from Pandemic. The one that was like 95 to 98% completed before they went bankrupt and got bought out. Every day it feels like I wake up hoping I'm out of a nightmare and that game will be on the shelves. But no, I'm just met with cold reality, disappointment. Yeah. Oh, it's another one. Hmm. Didn't I have a game somewhere that was supposed to have a sequel, but it never came out? Just one I did. I guess the meme answer would be Half-Life 3, but ain't that a dead joke? Just about as dead as Half-Life 3. Mm. Mm.
You all right? Hello?
I'm not too sure what other games I know 100% sure it's never going to come out, but I wish it did.
It's sorry about that. I'll almost forgot to give the outside cat his evening food because even the outside cat is freaking spoiled.
That's no problem. I was just talking with Gorgonite here.
Yeah, I saw that. What's up, bro? Kind of.
I guess another game I know for sure won't be coming out that I would love to come out is a new Wild Arms. That would be fantastic.
Dude, I liked the concept. It was like a Western RPG, like a Western JRPG.
Yeah, it's so good.
Like what's sad is the one Wild Arms I got, I couldn't play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the disc for some reason was shite. Like I don't know what was wrong with it. Everything else was perfectly fine with it, but unfortunately, it just didn't want to work. So I'm just like, whatever. Yeah, that exact one actually. That didn't want to work.
Wild Arms 3.
Yeah, I was so pissed. I was like, motherfucker, I barely get any PlayStation games. I'm an Xbox guy, and this motherfucker. I'm just like, pretty much.
Oh, a new like Godzilla fighting game would be pretty great. Like one that's like this, Save the Earth. Ooh, that would be great.
Right? Give me a sec. I'm talking to a buddy real quick.
Love me some casual fighting game. A new Monster Rancher would be pretty good. I love Monster Rancher to death.
You know, I want the thing is Monster Rancher that you put the CDs in, and that cool concept.
Monster Rancher is the one where you take the game out of like the PlayStation and put in like a CD or a DVD, and it'll scan the code of it and create a monster from it.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. Pretty good. I especially love the fighting mechanics in that game. It's pretty
neat. Might have a buddy of mine come on over. I'm hoping so. Because he needs to see... Well, no, he needs to see Aquaman. He's he's Toke-Lawan, all right? And one of the things that Jason Momoa was talking about is like how he wanted to put as much Polynesian culture into Aquaman as he could.
Right.
And being the fact that he's Toke-Lawan, he needs to see this. He needs this in his life, dude.
One thing I would really love to see is an HD remake of Peter Jackson's King Kong, the video game. Oh my God. Just imagine.
I've never even seen the movie.
Just imagine the V-Rex segments in HD. That would make me shit some bricks.
Right?
Ooh, Gorgonite. Where is it? Do I have it? Where is it?
Dude, yes, I remember you showing that. You showed that. Dude, may I say, that game was highly underrated. Highly. Oh, God. All right, I got it. So, let's see. Got to add Mark Pellegrini.
2K, man.
Gotta add. Gotta add. Definitely gotta. So, gotta add Matt. So the thing I find funny, I'm on Facebook. Rarely am I on Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Mark Pellegrini needed to add. The guy that does the Niobe comics needed to add. Shit like that, and it's like, oh shit, you know what I mean? How do I not have these people on amongst my friends yet?
I suppose a sequel to this game would be pretty nice. I think it'd be kind of interesting to play this style of RPG/strategy, but for Prince Caspian would be pretty nice. Like,
never watched the Narnia movies.
You can say what you want about the Narnia movies. I do like this game quite a lot. It's pretty fun. A lot of like party-based strategy mechanics in it. I also had the Narnia game for the DS. That was pretty good too.
All right.
That one even had like equipment management and stuff.
I have to. You need this in your life. Give me a second. Open them into a new tab. Cause you need this in your life, bruh. You give me it, and it's gonna be reversed. That's the thing that drives me to wait a minute. No, I can do it another way. Ha ha! I forgot screen share, and it won't be reversed. Let's see, share and boop. All I gotta say is,
okay, what's this? I never really liked the design of the Batlith. I'm not so sure how it's supposed to work.
I don't know either, but I think that is fucking hilarious, and I'm so saving this.
Just seems very impractical for a warrior people to use.
Well, it's the reason why the Batlith is meant for up close and personal. Think about it like that. It's like, and they have their knives, their daggers, if you will. But to me, it makes sense to me because they're all about being up close and personal, and you can one hand use it at. It's designed to be able to use, like he's holding it there in the center. You can hold it at the ends, from what I can tell. It's like it has a length, like ability to be used as a sword, like kind of like a katana and whatnot, where it's just single edged blade. But it's at the same time meant to be like almost like a staff, I guess. I don't know. I'm not.
It just seems like it'll get caught so easily on a lot of things, and there's like not many places where you can block, so you would just ruin the edge very oftenly.
Well,
it's weird.
Well, yeah, I can see that, but then again, if you were to look at like a lot of the way,
just imagine how much time and money it takes to maintain that after battles.
Well, you got to also take into account like to them, that's part of it. It's, you know what I mean? It's.
I mean, I guess, but there's like so many other designs that are much more practical and much more effective that they could do. I mean, like, despite how awesome we think about when it comes to fantasy and sci-fi with imagination, how things would look out with other species and stuff.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, as Thanos says, reality is often disappointing because chances are, no matter where you are in the galaxy, a person making a sword will look like a regular old sword.
Well, if you
no
look,
matter what planet you're on.
Well, if you go into the legend of how the katana was made, basically the blacksmith who made it was spent days meditating, and basically, if you will, their version of praying to the gods on basically how to make the perfect blade. Well, it was said that a woman came to him, and
or really the best blade they could really make with their sand iron.
Well, that's the thing. Their katanas to the katana to the thing.
They did not have widely available metal.
Yeah, but think about it. The katana is one of the best blades on the planet, and that's with their subpar iron. Because, you know, let's be honest, remember, the best iron on the planet actually comes from Spain, if I remember correctly.
I actually think one of the best ones actually comes from Sweden. Like, you know, like the Scandinavian lands.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's like where some of the absolute best iron is from. And they also had some of the better like steel making.
Yeah, but the legend goes that a lady came to him, and
pig iron does not make a perfect sword.
Right, I saw that. But I remember, like legend goes, a lady came to him. She had her lover's decapitated head in a box, and she was on her way to give him his last rites. And she explained to this man, and like the way he designed like her boat is very cylindrical and things like that, almost like a spaceship. So, just a little anecdote there, but basically, she explained to him the art of folding the metal into the way it was, and he disappeared for like a week and came out with a sword designed or made to her specifications, and that sword was the katana.
Right.
And because the way she vanished, it was believed that she was actually a god, which makes sense if you know what I mean, with a lot of other things mentioned and whatnot.
Right.
I mean, it's very much a unique idea. I wouldn't be surprised if that.
Oh, yeah, it's out of the box thinking to overcome a problem to catch up with like the rest of the world who had, you know, more convenient means of making a weapon.
Exactly.
Out of iron.
Exactly. So for him, it was, or for Japan, it was, well, we don't have the necessary materials to make these thick ass, you know what I mean, swords like the rest of the world, but we can still make a strong sword by folding it and basically forge welding it continuously onto itself, and then like the curvature gives it great for deflection to maintain the edge.
Like, don't get me wrong, the design of the katana is pretty great. It's probably one of the best slashing and cutting weapons in design, but because of the metal it's made out of, it is absolute trash. But with the steel that we have today, the katanas can actually be pretty good.
Well, not to mention the fact that you put, like, it's also the way it was designed was also for thrusting too, to get in between. Because remember, they used bamboo armor. What they'd do is, if I remember, they'd catch the bamboo while it's
bamboo, some kind of wood, and ceramic, if I remember right.
And it was layered, but it was that armor was solid, dude. Like you'd think looking at it, it's like, man, I'm gonna get to tank. What the fuck? Tank. My sword isn't cutting through.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like even with like Gambison, you know, you can pretty much nullify most arrows.
Mm-hmm.
And Gambison is just sturdy cloth armor.
I like that. Also, the English longsword, you can cut, properly stab, use it as a bludgeon 3 different ways, crossguard, pommel, half swording, and strangle the handle, and strangle with the handle. Checkmate.
And don't forget about ending them rightly.
Like, well, one of the things that I've always thought was interesting about like medieval fighting that I give the
dude half sorting is some baller shit.
Oh, dude, hand and a half is solid, very solid. But like what I liked about for instance the Soul Calibur games is the way they show Siegfried grabbing people and using the pummel where he beat them in the face. That was actually a tactic to get in close, and if you couldn't like get them with your blade to like get in close and beat them with the literal butt of your sword, because what you're doing is you're aiming for the slits in their helmet and forcing it down to where one, they have to take off their whole helmet in order to see because they can't get the guard up, and 2, you're basically making it to where if they they're still fighting, they have to be cut out of their armor.
I remember at one point, I was having a conversation with some people. I can't remember what about, but I just know it was like tabletop stuff, like fantasy tabletop, and I was like telling people how you can actually give a great new thing to do is to give a sword like a bludgeoning or piercing damage, because you can just grab onto the blade and then just strike with the cross guard, and people were looking at me like I was fucking stupid.
But that's actually one of the things that they did.
Yeah, that was for real tactics. That was the way a swordsman fought against an armored opponent.
That's why so many swords had that design where you had that little gap that came out where it didn't have an edge. This way you could grab it there if your sword broke and you still had a bludgeon weapon.
Yeah.
It's like
medieval swordsmanship, when you look at it long enough, is basically wrestling but with swords and armor.
Basically, I mean...
Well, I mean, the basics of a lot of fighting, and this even goes back to, actual real wrestling, is grapples and crippling. Cripple your opponent or prevent your opponent from moving properly.
Oh, dude.
That's pretty much the key. That's pretty much key to a fight every time.
Well, it's one of the things that, okay, I guess the best way to put it, one of the things that the best way Sensei put it was you're not trying to defeat your opponent. You're trying to remove your opponent's want to fight.
Right.
Like it's how do I put it? Okay, like the way you when you strike, if you twist your fist right as you're striking just right and you hit in certain areas, you'll do more damage. And it's all about the best place to hit somebody is literally right along here, right about here, right where the rib cage ends, and you want to just, you know what I mean? You want to, when you hit, you dig, all right? And it's literally, you're trying to hit these, back up, trying to get these 2 knuckles, and you're trying to hit and dig. And the reason why is you're trying to, one, it makes it hard for this lung to operate because you're actually stunning the lung. Same thing with good old diaphragm. But kidneys, you know what I mean? You want to hit places where it's going to hurt, and it's going to hurt a lot. And you want to make your opponent hurt to the point where they don't want to keep fighting. They just want done. done. I can't breathe.
This is not worth it.
Exactly. It's like why one of the better places to hit is right here. Reason why
that would daze the crap out of them.
That's why that's one of the places I hit when I do a ridge hand. It's like bam, because of the fact that you hit right here.
Another good way of putting it, don't remember where I heard it, is that the point of a sword fight isn't to win, is to not lose.
Ain't that the fucking truth? But like, it's just one of those.
It's not about winning or losing. It's about surviving the aftermath.
It's how do I explain it? It's when you're in a sword fight.
It's basically an alternative to the phrase "war does not determine who is right or wrong, only who survives."
Yeah. Well, no, I was actually about to say it depends a lot on the style of weapons you're using, sword and board, dual sword, because battle axes, halberd, like there's so many different weapons, and they all have their own unique styles, and they all have their own purpose within a medieval battlefield. But at the same time, you also, once you started having things like ballistas brought into the field, there's a reason why, for instance, once you got into like the 1400s, you started seeing less use of armor because of the fact that you had things, once again, like the ballista. You didn't matter if you wore armor or not. That thing was still going through you.
And even if it's lands nearby you, the shockwave will kill you.
Like, there's so many ways of, like, so many things that rendered body armor practically useless. And mind you, it's why, like, for instance, when I talk about like my body armor and things like that, I was looking at it as how to build a better mousetrap, I guess you could say, in that aspect. Yeah. How to take something that can withstand modern conventional weapons, because let's be honest, like, okay, and this is the selling point of my armor. Yes, it's more expensive than traditional body armor, but it's cheaper than having to train a whole new goddamn soldier. It's cheaper than having to pay their medical bills, pay for the time that they are not on the battlefield where you need them.
Yeah.
And that's that's part of the selling point.
And Gorgonite, actually the thing that you've described is actually the philosophy of a lot of my characters, where you're like, honor is the tool of old men use to make young men die in their stead.
I agree, but I disagree. Like, I have to push back. Honor it's the thing about honor isn't so much that it is a.
Well, we're talking about like old timey honor. We're like, oh, you have to have the honor to die on the battlefield and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, it's, how do I put it?
The fantasy kind of honor.
Yeah, well, I'm talking like a warrior's code. A warrior without a code is just a brawler, just a berserker. Even the Vikings, to some extent, had a bit of a code, if you will. It may not have been like
but a warrior with a code is also a warrior with a weakness. All is fair.
Yes, but at the same time, you got to take into account, like, there were conventions that, like, certain things done, even back during the medieval era, like, if you didn't follow certain rules, you were still shunned by the rest of Europe. Because let's be honest, during the medieval era, I mean, that's when the Middle East started to fall under the first wave of, if you will, the birth of religious extremism and the interfighting amongst the different sects of Islam. So they went from algebra, catapults, chargebys, things like that, to we're fighting over a goddamn religion. And then you have Europe, which at that point was coming out of the Dark Ages and into what we know as the medieval era, which is where you started to see a lot of scientific progression. Once again, from there, granted, with the help of
sort of the preamble to the Renaissance.
Yes. And that's where you were seeing, and at the same time, during this time, you also had the Moor Empire in Africa was also starting up at this time, because they had gotten a lot of influence to religious infighting Middle East, because at this time people still traveled through Africa and whatnot into the Middle East and vice versa. There was a lot of cultural exchange over through those areas. Same thing with and you had the same thing going on with Europe and whatnot along the Silk Road going into the Orient and whatnot, or what was the Orient, which is Greater Asia as a whole. And you had still a lot of the knowledge that, for instance, black powder from China and things like that, and how that was starting to make its way to medieval Europe, thus where you started to see the birth of cannons. Like, Japan had rifles, Europe had cannons. That was they did like the Japanese were like, let's make it smaller and
we could carry it into the field, you know?
Yeah. Whereas the Europeans were like,
nah, screw that shit. We're blowing everything up in that general direction.
Pretty much. Which also made knights' armor completely useless.
Yeah.
I like that. The Bushido originally was about obeying their masters no matter what. If your master told you to kill a baby, you did it, or else you dishonored yourself, your family name, your master, and your country. Valid point. Very valid point.
Yeah. And chivalry was never anything about manners or obedience. It's just, hey, here's what you can and cannot do in a fight.
Yeah, it was more of a standard of.
It was like tournament guidelines.
Pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much. And that's what I find.
One of my favorite memes that came from For Honor. It's we fight for honor, not with honor.
Yes.
I would love it if it's the chunky mech style, because I just love the beef.
So like I said,
big beef.
It's two different components. It is the exosuit, which is very, I guess you could say it's how would I put it? It's very much like, picture the Iron Man suit in Iron Man 2, almost. The one that he busts out on the racetrack that's very thin and almost form-fitting. But with it's still kind of on the bulky side, just not too bulky. But the actual power armor is meant to look like a pretty much.
Will there be any use of hydraulics to help make things move, or is it going to be completely man-powered?
There's no use of hydraulics. It is entirely turbo-based. Electric motors. My design of the electric motor with a proprietary gear set designed to maximize the strength of the electric motor and amplify it to a point that you are getting a lot more power, or basically using leverage, but in a small, compact, you know what I mean? Bit. I did that on purpose. I didn't want it overly big. I didn't want it to be needing a lot of power. The more power it needs, the less likely it'll be physically doable with our current technology.
I have a friend right now who is trying to design perpetual motion machine.
I would like to figure that out, but that's not my area of expertise. Robotics is my area.
Right.
Like robotics and time travel, basically. Like if you're to go into, but the actual power armor that the exosuit allows you to be able to use without killing yourself.
Went from a gaming stream to this.
Huh?
So went from a gaming stream to this.
Are you surprised? This is my channel. 3 things we talked about, or four: comics, video games, history, and science. Well, 5. Politics too.
I wonder if I can screen share and I just play like Star Wars Battlefront 2 or something.
Oh, that's fine. My whole thing is I don't have much on my computer right now.
Let's find out.
Huh?
Let's find out. Let's see if I can actually do that. Okay, I should be screen sharing.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Let's just play Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Let's see how this goes.
Now I feel like playing a game.
Ah, it's showing Star Wars Battlefront.
Nice.
You are white.
Nice.
All right. I need to get that. Like, that's one I want to get installed. I know I may have a friend coming over and bullshitting. Like, there's one I was telling you about because I really want to be able to introduce him to Aquaman because goddamn Jason Momoa did a fucking fantastic job.
Nice.
Dude, no.
Oh, hell, Azathoth.
But, I mean, oh, what kind of delicious, deadly weaponry would this thing be outfitted with? That's the glory of it. One of the things I'm actually working on is, I know. But, one of the things I'm actually working on that you'll find funny is, it's only theoretical. And I've got the rough idea of how it will be done, but hard, light weapons. I mean, it'll have conventional, like, the design.
Okay, what the hell?
That's what I was wondering.
But what's happening here?
I don't know.
Why is my visuals on the shit?
Right? No, I see that. It was working fine, and then all of a sudden, fuck you.
Yep. There we go. That was weird.
Right.
I think I didn't freaking die. That was bullshit.
But it will have some legit like rockets on there that I'm working on the designs for. Nothing high yield, just low yield. Designed to basically handle, I guess you could say, what's the proper term? Not full on bunkers, but like nests, if you will. Like small nests, urban combat. Your soldiers stuck in a situation where the main group of soldiers are being held down, like the actual infantry is being held down. Instead of trying to go in there and risking yourself, it has the rockets that like I said, the missiles, if you will, that I designed, built into it to where you can launch them accurately into the nest and not risk the armor or any more soldiers. But that's about the only thing. Everything else is based off of hard light. Like you can have carry conventional firearms with it because that is part of the idea.
It's gonna be annoying,
right? But because that is part of the idea. But you don't want to have too much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't want to overload the actual system by trying to have a whole bunch of internal weapons. Don't get me wrong, like, the idea of a full-on Iron Man suit is badass. I'd love to be able to do it, but we don't have the technology. We straight up don't have the technology. It's just not plausible with what we have today. May I suggest you try shutting off screen share and see if that's what's causing it?
Maybe.
You might actually just need a legit, like...
Oh, well. It was worth a try.
Oh, yeah, you might actually need, like, OBS or XSplit, like... Because I know for a fact that, now that it should be able to run.
Yeah.
Which, I need to reinstall that. That was kind of interesting. Wasn't anything, like, super major... But it was kind of an interesting concept. You just click game. But yeah, it was like I said. I've got a few ideas, but like the whole idea about hard light is that the hard light weapons is. Give me a second. He might be here.
Yeah, I guess he's gone then. How's how y'all doing? Trying to figure some shit out here. Play some kind of game. Maybe. Not everything crashing. I could try Mordheim. Mordheim might be interesting. That actually plays some Kingdom. Hey, do not disrespect the Separatists. The CIS captures all the command posts. You will not disrespect the Droideka brand like this. Yeah, like, so like any of these games? So, you know, I bet you're the one that gets killed in the Death Star. Barbarian, you're probably the one that gets put out to back by the Empire. You're the clone who gets old Yellard. Is there any of these games that interest any of you that hopefully it doesn't just crash all over the goddamn place? Except for these, I don't want to do any online stuff. Really, like these things are all online. This entire row.
That was odd. That was odd, to say the least.
What's going on?
Oh, the Harley started just barking up like just crazy. So I go and look out front, see if my friend's here. Nope. Like, all right, nothing going on outside. Look around, nothing. Look out back, nothing. Just, huh. All right.
I could play some Mordheim. Mordheim's pretty fun. I haven't played Mordheim in forever.
I haven't even heard of it.
Oh, it's a great Warhammer Fantasy game.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if it'll run properly.
Yeah.
Especially since I actually got it in window mode, so it should be pretty good.
Gotcha. But either way.
It's just going to take a while to load up.
What? Damn. I'm gonna steal the white box real quick.
All right.
I'll give it back to you here in a minute. I'm just gotta hold up. Stop. There we go.
I love the artwork for Warhammer.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter. Trying to do. Sure, all right. Trying to do. Training for next season. That's all I gotta say.
What's going on?
My nephew.
Okay.
The hoodie I always wear.
Mm-hmm.
That says North Texas. My nephew plays for the actual North Texas. That's why it's like I'm proud of the boy. Fucking Canales, man.
Oh, we got a Canales?
Oh no, not in chat. It's I have him on my Facebook.
Oh, okay.
And it's the Daily Wire. Charlize Theron is shockingly available. Begs men to grow a pair and step up. And this is his response. This is what he shared it with this. Charlize Theron just discovered that being single-age with 2 kids is not the Disneyland that promised her in gender studies, and asked the guys to give her eggs and be I guess he means it. Yeah, okay. But him basically calling her a him, being bad suppliers, to which I say, sorry, Charlize, you had your chance when you were redhead and sexy in that Pacino and with Pacino, but your Edward Norton cosplay at American History X for Fury Road killed all my lust for you. Now bullet.
Jeez.
Fucking cannot bad.
So, which warband should I play as? We have the Witch Hunters, Mercenaries, Sisters of Sigmar, the Cult of the Possessed, Skaven, and the Undead.
I don't know. Like that undead looks badass, but I'm basing this off of looks and not actual.
But that is a vampire lord, I'm pretty sure.
That so I guess they're trying the black hole that was photographed and everything. Fans launched petition to have black hole named after Soundgarden's Chris
Greasy
Cornell.
Spaniard. Hey, it's actually kind of funny you call him a greasy Spaniard because the entire human empire is all based German, especially the undead. The undead are incredibly German, but these guys are also pretty German. They're called the Reichlanders.
Yeah, the Reichlanders.
Grand Prince Siegfried of Reichland.
Yep. You do.
I could play any of these. I've played all the war bands a few times. I could do just about any of them. They're all pretty good in their own way. What should I play as though? That's always the hardest decision when I want to play a new Wartime. I just don't know what war band to play.
I really got to check that out. Word. I don't know. All right. Yeah. I might keep this going. I'm not sure. I'm going to see when he gets here what he wants to do. Because if he wants to watch Aquaman, then we're going to do that because I do want him to see this movie. I don't get to hang out with this dude as much as I used to. Him and I, dude, he's one of the first people that encouraged me to get down on my violin, dude.
I'll go Undead.
Huh?
Rank 0 or rank 5?
Don't know what you're talking about. But no.
It's basically, do I want to start my game as level 0 or level 5?
Oh, okay. Then just because I do want to show it off, because it is, I like what I did with it.
Right.
All right, let me.
Oh, nice.
See that bad boy right there?
That's pretty nice.
Dude, I was like, what am I going to do with my Alterna Comics sticker?
Just put it right on the violin.
Right?
I'll go to rank 5 because then I can show off my special unit.
Right. Actually, real quick, give me a sec. Yeah, it's in tune. Surprisingly. I don't get to play it as much as I want to. Because I'm very self-conscious about learning. Because I'm teaching myself. And when you're teaching yourself how to play an instrument, you don't want people around. Just pure and simple.
Oh, yeah.
Because you make a lot of mistakes. And especially me. Instruments, I've always wanted to learn how to play an instrument. And so, surprisingly, the violin's been the one instrument that I've actually been able to somewhat perfect.
Right.
But, you know what? I am going to go ahead and close the stream out. You have to be smart.
So we're ending?
Yeah, I figure why not. 3 hours is, and I gamed most of it. Since I got a buddy coming, I'm just like, you know what? It'd be even better. I tried getting a lady friend to come over, but yeah, no luck. So I'm just like hang out with the homie. Fuck it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm not screen sharing anymore. Okay.
Huh?
I guess I must have accidentally exited out of the screen share.
Ah, I gotcha. But
Got
all
me
right. I'll let
material.
you go ahead and start your closing pitch.
Get that noise out of my ear. Nope. I'm Nicholas Knockhand, also known as Duskwill. I do a monthly indie tabletop showcase show on there as on my YouTube, as well as do interviews of indie tabletop creators. I just recently released the latest, very, very overdue showcase that should have been done like last month, but because of a bunch of issues, I just could not record properly, but I finally managed able to do it. And I'll be doing an interview like 2 weeks from now with another indie creator. You can also find me on Twitter at Duskwill_team. You can also find me as Subscribestar with the same extension. You can also find me at Patreon at /Duskwill. You can donate to me to help fund a lot of my projects. I make my own tabletop games and I make my own comics. I'm going to be in the Mythoverse, and I'll probably have a bunch of other indie titles involving with a lot of the people in the indie sphere. And what else? I also take commissions for writing, whether it be character creation or backgrounds, script work, short stories, or even doing editing for any projects that are out there. All prices are negotiable depending on what the job is, and yeah, that should be it.
All right. And as always, I'm your host, the one and only Bob Jones. You can find me on Twitter at Brainiac420. You can find me on Mindsgab, TikTok, and Instagram at Bob Jones Comic Board. And you can find me on BitChute at Bob Jones. All right. And with that, later, folks.
You all have a good one.